Okay, I hope that last video was a good example of what interaction design is all about. Let's talk about some of the activities and characteristics of interaction design. So your reading talks about the 4 activities of interaction design, and they're very similar to the design process we've already looked at in this class because interactivity design is a type of design, so it's pretty much the same as the overall design approaches that we've talked about. So first you start with the needs and requirements, figuring out what the system needs to do. In the YouTube example, we know that we need to show and play a video and let people see a video and then start playing it. After we figured out what the system needs to do, we might come up with different ideas and alternatives that meet the requirements, so coming up with different possibilities. In the YouTube example, there were many decisions we could have made. As for where the video goes on the screen, it could have been half screen, full screen, both, neither, quarter screen, could be not even on there. Maybe there's some other way that you have to get to a video than the one that actually YouTube decided to do. So coming up with different ideas and narrowing those down to a few really good possibilities, building interactive versions of those possibilities. So prototyping, basically, prototyping those possibilities. If we were the YouTube design team, maybe we could have made a couple different prototype apps, one where you can rotate the phone, one where you can't, one where you do something else, and then we can evaluate and iterate on those ideas. So trying those prototypes out with real users, having people really try to use that app for a few days or a week and see if there's any difference in the experience that those people have, figuring out which of those possibilities we came up with really optimizes for matching what the user is trying to do and makes it easy for them to use our designs. And there's a few characteristics of the process. It involves users, right? So we're figuring out what users need, and then we are coming up with ideas and then actually trying those ideas with users. It specifies the goals and the user experience goals up front. So for the YouTube example, if we were on the YouTube team, 8 years ago, before there was a YouTube app, it might have even been longer ago. I'm sure it was longer ago than that. But figuring out what the goals and the user experience goals are up front. So what is the goal of a YouTube app? Is it for people to watch videos? Because it could have been different, right? YouTube could have made an app that was just a way to record videos. Maybe you just record the videos and you upload them, but there's no way to actually watch everyone else's videos. That's a decision that they could have made. And they didn't, though. They made a different decision. So making those decisions up front about what the user experience goals are and what the app is going to be like, and then iteration, right? Making things, trying them out. Making things, trying them out. Coming up with what the interactions should be like and seeing if those interactions really work for the users. And then I just put in the corner here, your reading talks about some usability goals. These are some usability goals and some user experience goals, and talks about how important it is to come up with these up front, right? So if you're the YouTube app team, which of these things are you trying to get users to do? Are you trying to get users to feel that the YouTube app is really satisfying and fun? Is it more about it being helpful? Is it more about them getting and feeling rewarded by using the app? Figuring these out ahead of time so that when you're making interactions and trying them out, you have something to judge them against. If you're making different prototypes of a YouTube app and you give them to users to use for some period of time and they come back, finding out, did you have the experience we wanted? We wanted this YouTube app to be fun. Was it fun? So setting those goals ahead of time. So again, all of this because this is the same as the other design processes and approaches that we've already talked about. Your reading just wants to kind of reiterate that interaction design is using that same design process, involving users, figuring out what they need, coming up with ideas, trying those potential solutions out, and seeing which ones worked the best.